What's going on, everybody? Former MLB outfielder Austin Jackson here. Look, do me a favor and go check out my man Chris Pome's podcast, 30 Minutes Live with CDP. You can tune in Wednesday and Friday nights on Apple, Google, Anchor FM, and Spotify. And you might even get a special guest appearance from yours truly. Take care.
Buddy, how you doing? It's your bro CDP on this Thursday, May 27th at 4:35 p.m. I apologize. My guest Aaron Sanders, the voice of the Windsor Express MBL, was supposed to come on with me. Today's show is going to be an NBA playoff show. I'm just going to go over all the first round matchups and predictions and stuff like that. So unfortunately, Aaron Sanders had another commitment at the last minute, so he was not able to come on today. So anyways, guys, this is my first broadcast live on my Chris Pame sports blog page. It's also on my Twitter page at Chris D. Pame, and I'm also on YouTube as normal. So anyways, like I said, guys, I'm still going to go ahead with the NBA playoff show on here, and I just want to say thank you guys for watching and stuff like that. Anyways, like I said, it's going to be an interesting next month or two for the NBA playoffs and stuff like that. So I'm just going to put on some stats here. Tonight's games, we got the Bucks in Miami. Game 3 tonight in Miami. Bucks are up 2-0. Suns at Lakers at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time from the Staples Center. That series is tied 1-1. And then Denver-Portland is tied at 1-1. That game is now moving to Portland. So it should be an interesting night tonight. Anyways, guys, like I said, thank you all for coming on 30 Minutes Live with CDP. And we're going to talk a little basketball today. This is strictly going to be basketball. So anyways, I'm just going to put my screen up here. If you guys want to follow me on Facebook, like my sports blog page on here, Twitter, and if you guys want to hit and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Chris Pame, that'd be great. And email me at cpame19@gmail.com. So anyways, guys, I want to show you guys a little video clip of the excitement of playoff basketball returning to New York City. The Knicks haven't been in the playoffs since 2013, 8 long years. They haven't won a playoff game until last night for the first time in 8 years. And I just want to show you guys a little bit of how excited the city of New York is to have the Knicks in the playoffs. I know the Brooklyn Nets are a good team and they got a good fan base, but to me, the Knicks are always going to be number one in New York, no matter what. So anyways, guys, I'm going to show you a clip and we'll play it on here. It's a 2-minute clip about the excitement in New York City.
Several stadiums and arenas expanded capacity for fully vaccinated fans, and that included Madison Square Garden, where, of course, the Knicks had their first playoff game of the season. Unfortunately, they came up a bit short against the Hawks, but fans were still happy to be back in the Garden. CBS 2's Kieran Dillon has more.
Instead of social distancing, these thrilled Knicks fans were all about celebrating and connecting at MSG Sunday night. 15,000 fans showed up for the team's first playoff game in 8 years. The fans so eager, the game against the Atlanta Hawks sold out in less than 2 days.
Just like the team, we deserve this.
And their excitement so infectious, you never guessed this game was the largest indoor gathering in the state since the start of the pandemic.
I am so excited, okay? And not even because of the COVID stuff, but like the Knicks have not been run the best for like a while, and now they're finally getting on track.
Part of the reason most of these fans, about 80% according to the team, were double vaxxed. With their vaccine cards in hand, most had no worries when it came to COVID-19.
We trust the vaccine, so we're here for some playoff basketball.
Leah Lewitt drove 2 hours from Connecticut. Nothing was going to stop her from repping her team.
I paid $250 to get on a list to have access to buy the tickets, $225 to get my tickets. I paid another $60 for lunch, $50 to park, $80 for gas. I'm here.
The Knicks, just one of many sports teams in the state who made big changes due to softening COVID restrictions. At MSG, there are now vaccinated seating sections at full capacity, where there is no more social distancing or masks, as long as fans can prove they are fully vaccinated. Children, like Hunter Link, are also allowed in these areas, as long as they have proof of a negative PCR test.
We had a PCR test, and we have that, and we're going to be careful. We're going to leave our mask on, and where are we going to go? So go next? Let's go!
And while most of these fans were confident the new requirements would keep them safe, there were some that were a bit nervous.
It's gonna be 15,000 people. A little scary. I know I should be fine, and I know I'm probably gonna be fine, but it's like, getting used to it again.
Still, even with the nerves, the pandemic wasn't going to put a damper on these spirits.
Oh, I am feeling wonderful. New York Knicks and Atlanta. I've waited 8 years for this.
So the next playoff game is also here at MSG on Wednesday. That game is also sold out, and fans say they'll be ready for a party. Outside Madison Square Garden, Kieran Dillon, CBS 2 News.
A lot of pent-up excitement out there. All right, thanks.
Anyways, guys, that clip was courtesy of CBS 2 in New York City. Yeah, like I said, they're excited. That was done before game one, where Atlanta stole that game with a Trae Young basket at the buzzer. But the Knicks last night came back and won 101-92 over the Hawks. It was the first Knicks playoff win since 2013. So everyone talks about Maple Leafs fans being loyal and being starved for a winner. Well, the New York Knicks haven't won an NBA championship since 1973, and they haven't appeared in the NBA Finals since 1999. And I think former Bulls coach Tom Thibodeau has done an outstanding job with that team. And Julius Randle was one of the most improved players this year. And getting Derrick Rose, I can talk, from the Pistons helped as well. So I guess that'll be the first series we talk about. But I really think that Knicks Atlanta series is going to go 7 games, guys. So we'll see what happens. But like I said, I'm just going to bring this up right now. And again, hopefully my guest Aaron will come back on another time. Something came up today. So we're going to get into my preview of the NBA playoffs. So we'll start with the Knicks Hawks first. Knicks Hawks are now tied at 1-1. The series is going back to Atlanta for the next 2 games. And CDP is predicting this series will go 7 games, especially after the Knicks' first playoff win in New York last night, 8 years. They had over 16,000 people in Madison Square Garden. But I think Tom Thibodeau's done an outstanding job with the Knicks, getting Derrick Rose, the former MVP from the Bulls in 2011, has helped. And Julius Randle has been outstanding, and the Knicks are a well-coached team, and I really think both these teams are good. Atlanta's a good young team that can score, and I really think this series is going to go the full 7 games. So, my heart's with the Knicks, so I'm going to predict the Knicks in 7 games over Atlanta, but we'll see what happens there. But it's going to be great basketball regardless. So that's the first series I want to talk about. Like I said, guys, the Knicks haven't had a lot of success in a long time, and it's nice to see them. And they finally got a good coach in there, and they've got some good young players in there too. And I really think the series is going to go 7 games. That's CDP's prediction on here as well. Guys, if you have comments, please feel free to send me comments and see what you say. This is CDP's NBA playoff show today. It's just strictly NBA basketball. So the next series I want to talk to you guys about is we'll go about Washington over Philadelphia. The Sixers went up 2-0 over Washington Wizards last night. They defeated them 120-95. Sixers are up 2-0. So the next 2 games are in Washington. I really feel the Sixers are a better basketball team than the Wizards. I really think the Sixers will win this in 5 games. Everyone's saying 4, but I think the Wizards are going to get a 1 game in Washington. I know Joe Embiid, Ben Simmons, and Tobias Harris have stepped up their games. And Doc Rivers, who came over from the Clippers, former Celtics head coach, 2008 NBA World Champion with the Celtics, has done a nice job with Philadelphia. So I think if the Sixers can stay healthy, they should win the series in 5 games. I can't see the Wizards pushing this series to 6 or 7. So I know the next 2 games are in Washington, but definitely think the Sixers are on their way to the second round. We'll see what happens, but that's my prediction there. Anyways, guys, so that's it for that series. And then the next one I want to talk to you guys about is the Brooklyn Nets in the Big 3 against the Celtics. You got Kevin Durant, James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Blake Griffin, who they got from the Pistons as well. I call it the Big 4. And then you got Steve Nash, the Canadian legend and a 3-time NBA MVP coaching that team. Brooklyn is currently up 2-0 on Boston. They've kind of crushed the Celtics the first 2 games. Jaylen Brown is out for the season, and Jason Tatum left game 2 the other night with I think he got a poke in the eye. So I'm not sure of Jason Tatum's status for Game 3 in Boston on Friday night, but the Celtics' only chance of getting back into this series is they're going to have to win the next 2 games in Boston to get back 2-2. I really think Brooklyn's going to sweep the Celtics. I really think as long as Durant's healthy, Harden's healthy, Kyrie Irving's healthy, and they got Blake Griffin and some other guys off the bench, I really think the Nets should win this series in 4 games. So we'll see what happens. But Boston's only chance to get back in the series is going to have to win both games. Even if the Celtics win 1 out of 2 in Boston, I don't like their chances coming back 3-1 to Brooklyn. So I think this Brooklyn-Boston series is going to be very short, in my opinion, especially when the Celtics are without Jaylen Brown and then Jason Tatum. Who knows about his status for Game 3 tomorrow night in Boston. So we'll see what happens there. Anyways, guys, and then the other series I want to talk to you about, this is the Eastern Conference we're starting with first. We've got the Milwaukee Bucks up 2-0 on the Miami Heat. Can the Miami Heat get back in the series? Milwaukee took care of business at home, won their 2 games. I think Milwaukee's going to win this series in 6 games. I can see Miami winning a couple games in Miami, but I can't see them winning in Milwaukee. So if the Greek Freak plays well and Glennis Dumbletaya, I call him the Greek Freak, Glennis, if he plays well, this series will be over in 6. I do think Miami, the Heat will steal 1 or 2 games in this series, but I definitely think Milwaukee's going to win this series in 6 games, 5 or 6 games. I cannot see it going more than 6 games. So we'll see what happens there. But like I said, guys, it's been interesting so far. The Eastern Conference has really gone where it's supposed to go. Philadelphia being up 2-0, Brooklyn up 2-0, and Milwaukee being up 2-0. Like I said, I think the best series in the first round in the Eastern Conference is going to be the Knicks and the Hawks. I think that series is going to go 7 games. So, and I'm so happy for Knicks fans because, like I said, the team has been awful for many years, and they finally brought in a good GM, and they've got Tom Thibodeau as the coach, and he's brought stability to that franchise, and they've got some good young players, and like I said. Julius Randle has been pretty good this year, and Derrick Rose has been great off the bench as well. So, and those fans are going crazy. They're just so happy to see playoff basketball at the MSG, and they're so happy to see the Knicks being competitive and winning some games. So, that's the series. I think the best series in the first round, in my opinion. I think all the other series are going where they're supposed to be going. So that's the breakdown of the Eastern Conference so far, guys. And like I said, again tonight, we got some games. I'm going to put this on, guys. Tonight's games, we got the Bucks and Miami at 7:30, Game 3. And we got Suns and Lakers Game 3 from the Staples Centers in LA at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Then we've got Denver at Portland at 10:30, which is Game 3 as well. So I'm going to hopefully watch the Bucks Miami's game at 7:30 for sure. So anyways, guys, just to plug my podcast, 30 Minutes Live with CDP podcast. The audio version is on Google Podcasts, Anchor FM, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Pocket Casts, Radio Public, and Spotify. If you'd like to follow me there, and you can listen to my podcasts as well. This show will be put on audio after I'm done today. And you guys can also watch this live on my YouTube channel. Hit subscribe and like. It's also on Twitter live at Chris D. Pame, and it's on the Chris Pame Sports blog page today. So we're going to break down the Western Conference games now too. And just give me a minute, guys. I'm a one-man show today, which I'm okay with. The next game we're going to start, the next series, we're going to go with the Western Conference series. We're going to talk about the Utah Jazz and the Memphis Grizzlies. Memphis stole Game 1 in Utah the other night. And then last night, Utah crushed Memphis 141-129. So that series is now even at 1-1. My question for you guys is, can Memphis Grizzlies take advantage of home court now versus the Jazz for the next 2 games. I still think the Jazz is going to win this series in 5 or 6 games, and Donovan Mitchell has been outstanding for the Utah Jazz. So my prediction on the series is Utah is going to win in 6 games. I think Memphis is going to steal another game, but in Memphis. So I really think the Jazz is going to win this series in 6 games. So what do you guys think? I'm calling the Jazz in 6 over the Grizzlies, and your dad. The next game there, I believe, is tomorrow night. So I'm looking forward to that game. And Donovan Mitchell's been a key player for the Jazz. So we'll see. And the next series we want to talk about is the NBA World Champion Lakers. They lost Game 1 in Phoenix the other night. They rallied back last night for a win over Phoenix, 100-92 over the Suns. So the Lakers have evened the series at 1-1. The next 2 games are at the Staples Center in LA. And AD and LeBron were outstanding in Game 2. My question for Laker fans is, can AD and LeBron take care of the Lakers? Can they take control of this series against the Suns? The next 2 games in LA, I'm still picking the Lakers in 6 games over the Suns. I just think AD, when he's motivated and LeBron James is healthy, they're 2 of the best players in basketball. I still think the Suns will steal one more game, but I think the Lakers will win this series in 6 games. That's my feelings on that. So, like I said, we'll see, but it's going to be, it's going to be an interesting, the next 2 games at the Staples Center with the Lakers taking back home court with that Game 2 win. So, and the next series I want to talk to you guys about is Denver-Portland, currently tied 1-1. They play tonight at 10:30 in Portland. Can the Portland Trailblazers take advantage of home court for the next 2 games? Denver, who's missing Jamal Murray from Kitchener, Ontario, he's out for the year. Denver is a high-scoring team, and Portland's a good young team. I really think this series is going to go 7 games between Denver and Portland. I think it's going to be a back-and-forth series. My prediction is I think they're going to split the next 2 games in Portland, and then I think the series I think it's going to go 7 games. I'm going to go with Portland in 7 over Denver. If Jamal Murray was healthy for the Denver Nuggets, I would pick them, but I'm going to go with the Trailblazers over the Nuggets in 7 games. So we should see. That's going to be interesting. Game 3 tonight in Portland. And then the last series we want to talk to you about in the Western Conference, guys, is it's a huge upset. Nobody was giving Dallas much of a chance, but Dallas went into the Staples Center and upset the Clippers 2 games in a row. Can the LA Clippers steal a game in Dallas to stay alive and get the series back to the Staples Center for a 5th game there? I think they can win 1 game in Dallas, but I can't see them coming back from 3-1 against Dallas. Kawhi Leonard has done his job, but again, Paul George, in my opinion, has come up short in the playoffs. So unless a miracle happens, I think Dallas is going to upset the Clippers, and I think it's going to be 5 games, Dallas in 5. Clippers might win 1 game in Dallas, but the Clippers, they got rid of Doc Rivers last year with their playoff disappointment. And then this year, the same issues. They did add Serge Ibaka from the Raptors, and they got Kawhi Leonard 2 years ago, and Kawhi Leonard can only do so much. He had 41 points the last game against Dallas, but I think the Clippers are in huge trouble against Dallas, and I think the series will be over in 5 games for the Mavericks. The only way the Clippers will get back in the series is they got to win both games in Dallas to get it even 2-2 going back to LA for Game 5. So. Anyways, guys, if anybody has any comments on this, please let me know. But this is just CDP's NBA playoff podcast show today, just strictly NBA basketball. So, like I said, guys, this is probably the biggest shock out of all the series so far in the first round is Dallas over the Clippers 2-0. I figured Dallas would win 1 game in LA and make it a competitive series, but to take 2, and now they've got the next 2 games in Dallas, it's not looking very good for the LA Clippers. So anyways, guys, and then what we're going to do next is CDP playoff picks. I am picking the Brooklyn Nets to win the Eastern Conference Championship this year. I'm sorry, Philadelphia, but I just think the big 3, as long as Durant Harden, and Kyrie Irving are healthy, I think the big three will lead the Brooklyn Nets to the NBA Eastern Conference Championship against either Utah or Dallas. I know that's kind of far fetched, but I just don't know if the Lakers can go 3 rounds of the playoffs on the road and then get back to the NBA Finals. So we'll see. But my prediction is Brooklyn Nets to represent the Eastern Conference against either Utah or Dallas in the Western Conference. It's a little bit out there with those two teams, but I really think Utah has a really good team. And I think Dallas is underrated as well. And my NBA Finals MVP prediction, it's a little bit early on May 27th, but I'm predicting healthy Kevin Durant to win the Finals MVP. I do think the Nets very well could win the NBA championship. So that's my prediction there, guys. So hopefully we'll see what happens there. But like I said, guys, and then my question for you guys is this is for the audience. If you guys want to check this out, who do you think will meet in the 2021 NBA Finals from the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference, and who you see your pick for the NBA Finals MVP? I think it's going to be Brooklyn and in Utah, or possibly we'll see Dallas. I think it's definitely going to be Brooklyn out of the East, and in the West, I think it's either going to be Utah or Dallas. And my pick is KD, Kevin Durant, as NBA Finals MVP. So we'll see with that. Anyways, guys, yeah, and that's a little breakdown of all the series so far. I do think in the East, the Knicks and the Hawks are going to go 7, and that's the most interesting series in the East. And in the West, like I said, I see blood in LA with Dallas over the Clippers. So we'll see what happens there. And yeah, like I said, guys, tonight we got tonight's games. We got the Bucks in Miami at 7:30, Game 3. Suns and Lakers at 10 o'clock, third game. And again, Denver and Portland, Game 3 tonight at 10:30. I think they're all going to be good games tonight. So for tonight's games, I'm going to pick Miami to upset the Bucks. I'm picking the Lakers over the Suns tonight, and I'm going to take Denver in overtime upset over Portland at 10:30. So we'll see what happens there, guys. But again, CDP 30 Minutes Live with CDP podcast. The audio version is on Google Podcasts, Anchor FM Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Pocket Casts, Radio Public, and Spotify. And as you guys know, today's show is on Chris Palme Sports Blog Live, Twitter at Chris Palme D Palme Live, and also on YouTube as well. So you guys can watch this show later on YouTube, Twitter, and on my sports blog, or you guys can check out my audio version again on Google, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Breakers, Podcast, Radio Public, and Spotify. And if anybody wants to hit like on my YouTube channels, that would be great. And I'm also looking for more subscribers on my YouTube channel as well. I'm up to 37 now. So anyways, guys, before I go, I'm going to wrap up this basketball show and just let you know who my next guest is. Okay, right there, and that's my guest right there for tomorrow night. It's going to be Jerry Howarth, the former Blue Jays radio play-by-play announcer. Jerry was the Blue Jays radio voice from 1981 to 2017, 36 years behind the mic with the Toronto Blue Jays. His first 23 years were with the late, great Tom Cheek, and Jerry was nice enough to commit to coming on my podcast tomorrow night, Friday at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 Pacific, and talk about his 36-year career with the Blue Jays and with the late, great Tom Cheek. And also, guys, if some of you don't know this, Jerry Howarth is also a huge San Francisco 49ers fan. So I'm going to talk to him about his San Francisco 49ers and what he thinks of them keeping Jimmy G as quarterback and drafting Trey Lance third overall in the NFL draft. And you guys can also check out his book too. Hello Friends, Stories from My Life and Blue Jays Baseball. Jerry published this in 2019. It's available on Amazon.ca and Indigo.ca. So I'm looking forward to talking to Jerry tomorrow night. But anyways, guys, again, thank you so much for checking out 30 Minutes Live today. And I'm looking forward to speaking to Jerry tomorrow night. And I'm just going to put up my blog right here. Again, you guys can follow me on social media, Facebook, sports blog page here, Chris Palme on Facebook, Twitter at Chris D. Palme, Instagram, just type in Chris Palme. And my account's private, but I'll accept you if I know you. And if you guys want to hit like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, which I'm trying to build up, it's under the name Chris Palme. And if you guys want to email me, it's at cpalme19 at gmail.com. So, anyways, guys, I just want to say thank you so much for watching or listening to 30 Minutes Live with CDP today on this Thursday, May 27th, NBA playoff show. And again, like I said, I'm looking forward to some of the NBA games tonight. And we'll look forward to tomorrow night's show, too. Again, tonight's games, Bucks of Miami at 7:30, Suns Lakers at 10, Denver at Portland at 10:30. I apologize again. My guest, Aaron Sanders, the online streaming voice of the Windsor Express, had another commitment come up at the last minute, so Aaron was not able to come on today. Hopefully, I get Aaron back on again in the future. And can you guys please let me know if you guys, my audio, you guys can hear it loud and clear? That would be great as well. And I'm also going to try to reschedule with 97 Rock DJ Dave Jixter. Unfortunately, I could not hear him last night. Audio issues, so I'm going to try to get Dave to come back on again in the future. But anyways, guys, like I said, enjoy the NHL games tonight. I know the Leafs and the Habs played tonight. Game 5. Game 5. Game 5 at the Scotiabank Arena. The Leafs are up 3-1 for the first time in a playoff series since 1987. And in 1987, they were up 3-1 against Detroit and Steve Yzerman, and they lost in 7. So don't count Montreal out yet. So, guys, enjoy the NHL playoff games tonight. Enjoy the NBA games. And we'll talk to you guys Friday night, 7 o'clock for 30 Minutes Live with CDP. Special guest, Jerry Howarth, longtime Blue Jays radio play-by-play voice and the voice of summer in Toronto for many years. I look forward to speaking to Jerry tomorrow. And thank you guys for tuning into my special NBA playoffs show today, podcast on here. And just send me some comments and messages and let me know what you think of today's show. And we'll talk to you soon, guys. Take care and have a good night. Go New York Knicks.